Such a gavaldik Gemara here, Rabbi Sai. So I'm asking Olam, let's hold on stark and let's get it clear, please, because I want to go to Shabbos having great clarity in this Gemara. So Rabbi Sai, I'm asking that Rabbi Sai, just hang on for a few minutes.
Please don't jump the gun. No questions. Keep them for after. Thank you.
I'm 2 days behind, so actually 1 day behind. I did yesterday.
Yeah.
Good Zion on the way.
Can't expect.
Oh yeah, we did.
Oh, you never answered the question of why you would be able to use 2 different things at once. 2 different.
Who does anything?
Okay, Rabbi Sai. So let's go in. Rabbi Sai, let's jump right in on Rishus Chemimori. We're on Daf Yud Zayin, Rabbi Sai. I don't want to go through the whole Gemara because that we've been on a few days. Rabbi Sai, I don't want to go through the whole Gemara, but I'm gonna let's catch up on the conversation that went on over here. What happened over here, Rabbi Sai?
Thank you.
What happened over here, Rabbi Sai, was that Rabbah overheard. Let's go through the steps. Rabbah overheard the Rabbanan talking, and he heard the Rabbanan saying that if the 3 tefachim of airspace in your schach, you just ruin your whole sukkah. However, in order for schach pasal metal, let's call metal to pass up your sukkah, you need to have 4 tefachim. So if you have 3 tefachim of ear, it's much worse than having 3 tefachim of right. Exactly. So that's what, now he asked them. He said, "Wait, I want to ask you a question." He told the Rabbanan. Rabbah told the Rabbanan. I overheard what you said. Why are you saying that 3 tefachim of airspace in your sukkah makes a puzzle? Because the Mishnah said so? Which that's what the Mishnah said? The Mishnah also said, this is what Rabbah told the Rabbanan, that in order to pass your sukkah with sach puzzle, you need to have 4 amos. So why did you say 4 tefachim? Meaning if you're going to the Mishnah, go all the way. So they responded, no. Airspace, ruined your sukkah. When you said that our Mishnah says 4 amos of schach pasal, that wasn't nothing to do with the middle of the sukkah. That's on the side. Side you can go to 4 amos because that's doifun akuma. You have a heter, you have a technique to go 4 amos. But schach pasal really in the middle is only 4 tvachim. That's what they told him. That's what they told Rabbah. So they told Rabbah that schach pasal in the middle is 4 tvachim. On the side, you're right. You have 4 amos. Rabbah didn't hold to that. Rabbah held 4 amos. Okay. So then Rabbah poses a question to them. Rabbah says, okay, wait. So Rabbah says, so you're saying that for Avir it's 3. So Avir is more stringent than Sach Pasal. Avir 3 pasals, and Sach Pasal you have 4. So he says, so what would happen if you have a sukkah? This is our drawing, where you have less than 4 of Sach Pasal, and next day you have less than 3 of Avir. That's going to be kosher, right? Because each one doesn't have the right shear. If you fill this in with metal slats, metal rods, so now you extended the schach pasal. Now you have more than 4. What are you going to say?
Well,
Then it's pasal. She says, I don't get it. Why shouldn't, if Avir is well, pasal with 3, why shouldn't that be treated at least as strict as schach pasal? Meaning this Avir right here. He's saying that. Look, he's saying schach pasal is bad. Bad because it passes with 4. But Avir's worse. You have bad and worse mixing. Because Avir's worse because it passes with 3. So mix bad and worse, and for sure it should be pasal. If this would be filled with metal, so now you have more than 4. So Avir, which is even stricter, shouldn't be treated as serious?
You said it's less than 3 though.
But if you would be filling
together with the metal.
But together, treat the Avir, let the Avir mix. Why can't Avir mix? Why can Avir mix? If Sach Pasal, if you fill this with Sach Pasal, you have more than 4, it's Pasal. So why can you mix that? The Avir is worse than Sach Pasal. So it must be that 4 tefachim is not really the right size. It must be not that 4 tefachim is not the right size because I just gave you a way to get 4 tefachim with Avir.
Terrence is not wrong.
You hear that? It must be that's not 4 tefachim because if it's 4 tefachim, then Avir should also be Pasal. Meaning this combination should be Pasal, right? Yeah. If it was 4 tefachim, then this combination should be Pasal. Klar? You see that's klar? Yaakov? Avir is worse than Sach Pasal. So pretend that this is as worse than Sach Pasal. Not pretend, this is worse than Sach Pasal. And yet the sukkah is kosher. Why? Right?
What's the question?
this sukkah is kosher.
Yeah.
But the question was that Avir is worse than Tzach Pasel. So why in the world is this kosher?
Because that
If it would be
it
metal,
moves
it would be
over.
If it metal,
air is worse than that.
It moves over.
So it must be. One second. This is no day for Nakuma here. We're talking about the middle of the sukkah.
I know.
So why is the Avir? So wait a second. So everybody say so he tells them it must be that the measurement is not 4 tvachim because I gave you a way to get to 4 tvachim and you just told me it's kosher. So what they do? They responded back to him
What does it mean it gave you a way to get to 4 tvachim?
by mixing the Avir and the Tzach Pasel. You have 4 tvachim, right?
But the fact that the combination doesn't.
The combination, why should that affect that? I'm mixing bad with worse. The combination should be even worse. That's what they're telling him. This combination should be worse than just Tzach Pasel because Avir should be worse.
Meaning you're saying logically it must be that it really does it would passel the combination,
Logically
and yet we
should.
say it isn't. Therefore, must be they're using the wrong measurements.
Exactly. So you know what they did, Rabbi Sai? They turned it right back on him and they said, wait, you say 4 amois. Rabbi said, look at this picture. What would happen if you have less than 4 amois over here? And then you have ear space. Right, that's great.
Same thing.
Same thing. And what would you say? It's kosher? Whoa, 1 second. For you, the question is even bigger. Treat this ear at least as bad as this. The ear is much worse. Here, the ear is 3 tvachim. The ear is much worse than Tzach Pasel. So Rabbi Sai, so he says, no. So let's jump now, Rabbi Sai, on to 2 lines from the bottom of the Amid. The Amina Luhu Ana.
We're gonna do this, yeah.
This is with yesterday's, but we'll go straight. The Amina Luhu Ana. The Amina Luhu Ana. The Amina Luhu Ana. And I told him, I responded, and I told the Rabbanon, hi, my, what's the comparison? You can't do this to me. This is not a question on me. You know why? Bishloima lididi. It is good according to me. The Amina that I say arba amois that I say 4 amois, right? Mishum shiura, because 4 amois is the right shear, is the amount to runa sukkah. V'lav shiurahu, and less than that is not the right shear. That's how you have to read it. Mishum shiura, because 4 amois is the right amount to ruin the sukkah. V'lav shiuru and dash and if it's less, it's not the right shear. Okay. Hi, lav shiuruhu. This combination does not have the right measurements. Why? Kama. Kivan delay shavu shi'arayu lahadadi. Since ear and Tzach Pasel don't have the same measurements. One has 4 amois, one has 3 tvachim. Loy mistarfi, they cannot combine. And yesterday we said, the Shmuel, I don't know if you were here when we learned this idea, that shiurin, when you have measurements, they are all learned halacha l'Moshe Sinai. So if they learn halacha l'Moshe Sinai, then we could say, look, there's a measurement for Tzach Pasel that's 4 amois, and this avir, there's 3 tvachim. You can't mix those. Because halacha Moshe Sinai is specific, exactly what we learned. One second, what we learned halacha Moshe Sinai. 1 second.
Keep the question.
So
Question, I just realized something.
So you can't combine the two. Everybody say so you can't combine the two. He told them back. The way I learn things, I'm learning them halacha Moshe Sinai. You can't combine them.
Meaning it would be kosher.
I'm sorry, that wouldn't be kosher exactly because you cannot mix. You can't say this is bad, this is worse. No, it's 2 different things. However, he tells them, look at this, Rabbi. Rabbi say, let's make the push to the dot here. But according to you, the Amrisu, that you say shear, you the Rabbanon. But you the Rabbanon. The Amrisu, that you say shear is the 4 tvachim. Your shear of 4 tvachim, Mishima Flaga, it's just a large distance. You hold that it creates a distance, a gap in your sukkah. Having 4 tvachim is not anything halacha Moshe Sinai. It's a logical issue. It's based on logic. You can't have a sukkah with such a big space of Tzach Pasel. So if it's not halacha Moshe Sinai, rather it's something on svara, misvara, you know it. Misvara, you know that. So Mali is spalik b'Tzach Pasel. Who cares that your sukkah is divided? Meaning you have this area of Tzach Pasel, of 4 tvachim of Tzach Pasel. Mali is spalik b'Tzach Pasel ve'avir. And what difference would it make if it was just Tzach Pasel, or if it's divided with Tzach Pasel and avir mixed? Tzach Pasel ve'avir. Meaning, if your issue is that I have too much of an area that doesn't have good schach, so who cares if that area it has ear, or it has schach puzzle, or it has ear and schach puzzle?
According to Chum, it's the same shear for schach puzzle and avir or no?
No.
So how could, since obviously it is based on halacha Meshivasina, it can't be just a svara. Well, why shouldn't it be exactly the same shear? No. If it's just a flug, what's the difference between metal and
no. So this is mamish a shaila that is discussed in the Mefarshim, and what they say is that on svara they say it looks worse to have ear than to have schach puzzle. So to have a divide, a break in the schach, right? But if that's the case. But if that's the case, they say, so then if your issue is that you don't have too much of a divide in your sukkah, so who cares how that divide, what's creating that divide? If it's not good tzchach, it's bad. So if you have avir mixed with tzchach puzzle, why should that be any different than having tzchach puzzle? You know, that's clear. Meaning, I'm off a system. My system is shiurin. Shiurin means it's specific. This is 4 amayis for tzchach puzzle, 3 tvachim for avir. You can't mix the two. But you're just a svara. Svara is I don't have too much of a stretch in my sukkah. I don't have good tzchach. Shmuel is gewaltig. Yaakov, you maskim Yaakov? Itzi? Rabbi say, let's go. You ready, Rabbi say? Amarle Abaye. Now Abaye jumped in. Amarle Abaye. I'm sorry, you put a question mark right after the word Avir. I apologize. A question mark after the word Avir, and now Abaye jumps into this.
He's one of the Rabbanan?
What? Sorry?
He's one of the Rabbanan?
Yeah, he's a rabbi.
Yeah, I guess Abaye may be one of the. Amarle Abaye. Rabbi said, let's go. Amarle Abaye. So Abaye says, wait. Rabbi said, Rabbi say, don't jump on me, please. Let's get to the dot here. Listen. Amarle Abaye said, wait. V'lomar nami. What?
The din of Shira, is it just Dalit Amos minat side, or is it also Dalit Tvachim in the middle?
Dalit Amos in the middle. According to Rabbah, the Shirim Halacha Moshe Mishina is that you could have Dalit Amos in the middle. And Dalit Amos in the middle, and 3 Tvachim of ear space in the middle. So don't mix the two.
What do you want?
No, then I understand, but the din of Dalit Amos possible in the sukkah is only minat side.
He's like a loser.
No, Rabbah argues fundamentally in this. No, Rabbah holds 4 amos and in the middle. Exactly. Yes, Rabbi says yes. Let's make sure it's clear. Rabbah holds that in the middle 4 amos. Even Rabbah says the middle. He also have 4 amos. No tvachim. So now Rabbi says so he just challenged him. Rabbah challenged him and he says wait. Rabbah challenged the 4 tvachim and now they respond. And now Abaye jumps in and he tells Rabbah, Amarle Abaye, Ulamar. Lamar is referring to Rabbah. You Rabbah, Nami. Granted, you Rabbah also. You ready? Ulamar Nami. And you Rabbah. Me granted. Listen to this, Rabbi say. The Lo Yishavi Shiurayu. Granted that the Shiurim are not the same. The Sukkah Gedayla. Granted that the measurements are not the same in a large sukkah. Kama. The sukkah katana, but if you're dealing with a small sukkah, you can write on top 7 by 7. Mi loy shavu shi'irayu. Do they not have the same shear? By sight, right? Listen, a footnote, 1 second. Question mark. In a small sukkah, they do schach puzzle and aver don't have the same shear. By say, look, this is the footnote.
What?
1 second. Listen. I know. I said, don't jump at me. Don't jump. 1 second. 1 second. Let me explain. The footnote is in a small sukkah. If you have 3 of schach puzzle or 3 of avir, that will ruin your sukkah. Is the Eilam knows that if you have a sukkah that's 7 by 7, you need to have schach. If you have inside that sukkah 3 tvachim of avir, it's a ruin. That's pasha. It's going to ruin, right? Right, Shmuel? Also, if you have 3 tvachim of schach puzzle, it's going to ruin your sukkah. Why? No, listen to this. In a small sukkah, which is 7 by 7, the exact shear, once you have 3, you can't say love it anymore. So it turns out that your sukkah doesn't have the requisite amount of schach. It doesn't have the 7 tvachim. It only has, how much does it have? 4. Because once you have 3 tvachim of schach puzzle, you hear this start?
Takes over the rest of the. It's loved to the other side.
Loved is ruining it now. I'm saying you can't use loved to close it up because it's 3. So right now your sukkah does it have 7 tvachim of schach kasher?
No.
Boom.
Wait a second. Oh, listen. Everybody listen to this. Yaakov, I beg you listen. Everybody say all your kirchis. This is Einik Shabbos right here. Everybody say, the Rabbi tells him, Abaya told him, listen to this. Everyone's got to listen. You have to give me these few minutes. Everybody say, wait. Abaya tells him, Rabbi says, Rabbi, your whole argument is that if it has the same shear, I have different shiurim, 3 and 4. That's why you can't mix it. That's not true. Because if it was a small sukkah, then we don't care what you have. If you have 3 tvachim of sach pasal, it's ruined, or if you have 3 tvachim of avir, it's ruined. Do you agree? Ellie, you hear that? You see? If you have a small sukkah and you have 3 tvachim of ear, you kill the sukkah. A small sukkah is exact size, 7 by 7. Not just that, if you have 3 tvachim of sach pasal, you ruin your sukkah. You know why? Because you can't say love it. And it turns out that now this is the smallest size sukkah that's kosher. You don't have 7 tvachim of sach.
I don't understand. Why does that?
7's the minimum. So now you just killed your sukkah. So he says, I found you a case. Listen to this 1 second. Hold on. I found you a case that they actually share the same size. If you have a sukkah that's 7 by 7, this sukkah will be made puzzle with 3 tvachim of avir and 3 tvachim of sach puzzle, the same size, right? By say, your sukkah will be puzzle with 3 tvachim of avir and also 3 tvachim of sach puzzle. So wait. They do have the same size. They do have this.
You're able to do mitzvah?
So you're able. So then you should be able.
There's nothing to do with mitzvah.
What?
They're still not mitzvah. So you're saying therefore they should be.
Therefore they should mix.
So he's asking because there's a case where they could be the same size, they should always be.
Therefore, in a case
because they're used as the same reason of why it's possible.
Therefore, by a sukkah
That's the big point. Because that's the answer.
Rabbi say.
Yeah. Because in that case, there's no other. What else are you supposed to do?
Rabbi say.
The sukkah is not good, is your question.
Rabbi say 1 second. I want, because everyone's doing, before we write in more for notes, I want you to look at the answer of the Gemara. Amalei, we're going to do it again. Amalei, he responded back. Rabbi told Abaya, Hassam, they're over there by the small sukkah. La mishum the shabi shirayu la dadihu. It's not. Rabbi say it's not because they have over there. It's not because each one in a small sukkah, each one now has a new measurement of 3. In a small sukkah, they don't take on a new size. In a big sukkah 4, small sukkah 3. Hassam over there in the small sukkah. Lav mishum the shavi shirayu la dadihu. It's not because they both have the same size. That's why it's possible. They both possible 3. Ella mishum because over there the last say l'shiura the sukkah. By 3 you killed your sukkah. You don't have the right size. Has nothing to do.
You just don't have a sukkah.
You don't have a sukkah anymore. Has nothing to do.
They're not mitzvah.
And they're not mitzvah. They're really 2 different sizes. But everybody was asking, what in the world? Before this, just because Rabbi said, look at Rashi. Look at Rashi, please. Besukah katana. Look at Rashi, besukah katana. Rabbi said, you have and look at this, unbelievable. Besukah katana, sheshirel mitzumtzum. You have that besukah katana on the left side. Besukah katana over here. Besukah katana. Besukah katana. They're asking the question on him. Abai is asking a small sukkah sheshirel mitzumtzum that has the exact size. Milei shavi shirayu. Do they not have the same measurements? Al karchach. Right? You have it. Each one, besula. You got it over there. I want you to. This Rashi is in a small sukkah. Each one, a paisla ruins a sukkah b'sheish tvachim. Why? Why is that? The kiva the nafik miters labed, because since 3 tvachim is already larger than labed, it goes beyond labed. Then chashiv, it's considerable enough. The b'tsurei to take away l'shurei the sukkah, to take away from the size of the sukkah. Everybody say this is the last line. Look at the last line. Everybody say. V'kivan de shavu shi'urayu. Since the measurements are equal, l'inyan shum sukkah. With regards to any sukkah, like I found you one possibility. Dash, make a dash. You got to make the dash here. Let's the rufe. Let it now combine. Let it now combine and go back. So why doesn't it combine? Oh, must be that it's not the right size. I'm backing up Rabbi Say. But then he responded, no, you're wrong. That's not a question on me. So Rabbi Say, I need to back up. Amalei Abaya. I want to jump to Abaya. Rabbi Say, don't close the Gemara just yet. Amalei Abaya. One more time, so that way we read that we have the clarity. Amalei Abaya. Abaya told Rabbah. Abai told Rabba, Ulamar Nami. Okay, you two, you also. Nihi granted granted that they don't have the same size as a sukkah gedayla, and that's why you want to say that they can't, that they don't combine because they have different sizes. Kama the sukkah katana milay shavi shirayu. By a small sukkah, don't they have the same measurements? Don't they have the same measurement by sukkah katana? Because each one can ruin it with 3. We wrote each. You can write on the side. Each one will ruin it with 3.
It gets ruined.
Amalei, Rabba responded, Hassam, by the small sukkah, Lav mishum the shavi shirayu la dadiu. The reason why each one can ruin it with 3 is not because they have the measurements are the same. It's not that when you talk about a small sukkah, all of a sudden Sach Pasal works with 3, and now the Aver works with 3, and therefore apply this elsewhere and ask all your kashas. Ella only mishum de leisei l'shiura de sukkahum. It's because by having 3 of Avir, having any 3 ruins the minimum required amount of schach for your sukkah, because you need to have 7. If you have 3 of Avir, or 3 of Sach Pasal,
Shragi,
yes.
let's say there's 7 by 7 sukkah with 1 tefach of schach pasal. Say love it.
Then you would say Lavid. But once you get out of Lavid, now I don't. Lavid will tell us. Lavid will tell us that I see it closed up. Anybody has any questions?
So it's less if it's less than 3 by sukkah katana.
That'd be fine, because Lavid closes it up. But once you go to 3, then the whole sukkah is ruined. Whatever you have, Avir, or
If it's not kosher schach,
yes, it would ruin it. 3 would ruin it. So he wants to say, you do have the same measurements by small sukkah, 3 by 3 of Avir and 3 of Sach Basel. To which you responded, that's nothing to do with. That's not because now they also have the same measurements. No, it's just this is something particular to a small sukkah. Once you do that, you don't have the right amount of schach.
I thought Lavid was only by Avir.
Right.
No, this is here. They say Lavid is also by
How can you say love it with his material?
What?
Jump.
How's Lavid work?
Love it just closes up the space.
What's happening?